So today's video, I'm going to show you a very simple thought and feeling that's going to help transform your ball striking. But before I fully get into it, I'm going to hit two shots, and I want you to straight away comment below and let me know out of these two swings, which one best reflects your swing. So swing number one. Felt nice and solid. Or swing number two, which was just a bit weak and slappy. Now my guess is going to be that most of you that have commented will say your swing probably looks more like swing number two. And I think a huge issue with the way golfers strike the golf ball comes from the way they actually perform their backswing. And I think there's a lot of information out there on the golf swing, and golfers get very focused on trying to be quite positional. So making sure the club's in the right position here, halfway back, at the top of the backswing. Then how do we start that downswing? And how do we get back to that lovely, powerful impact position? Now, I think the top of the backswing is a really important position. But I would say when a lot of golfers are practicing that static position at the top of their swing, that's actually not a position your body ever gets in. And I'm going to explain. So I think there's a big thing with a lot of club golfers that they want to get to the top and then they can start their downswing. But when you watch the best players in the world, that's not actually what happens. So as their club is moving back, everything's rotating away from the target. But as their club's starting to get to the top, their body and their feet, their legs are already starting to drive and rotate that way. And the reason for that is they need to get the club to change direction. Now, I'm going to make a very slow, deliberate backswing and just watch actually how hard it is. And I'm going to use some numbers on TrackMan just to show you the difference it'll perform. So a lot of golfers get to the top of their swing and then try and create the power. Relatively accurate. We can see decent club head speed at 82 mile an hour. Even though it was out of the middle of the golf club and the low point was well ahead, that smash factor right down, because I definitely caught the mat a little bit early. We can see the face is wide open and that path is out to win. And I think the big problem is when golfers get to the top of their backswing, it's almost like from here, how do we get the club moving? Because the club's stopped. So you don't need to put a huge amount of force into the club to get it to change direction. And the way golfers will tend to do it is with that upper body, and they'll drag the club down. That wrist opens the club face up, and then they'll cut across the golf ball. And it just creates not a great deal of power, not the best strike. Accuracy can be a bit hit and miss. And I just see most golfers that come to see me that struggle, it's definitely that they're trying to be so perfect at the top that then they struggle to start the downswing correctly. So if I ever get a golfer in front of me that's like that, the first thing I like to do is actually just, and I want you to work through this with me, particularly if you're watching down at the range, I want you to just make 3 or 4 swings back and forward without stopping. And what golfers notice is, first of all, how quick and powerful it feels. And then I'll say, does that feel different to your normal swing? And they'll say, absolutely. It feels like one continuous movement. And for me, that's what good golf swings are. Once that club starts moving, nothing's really stopping ever during the golf swing in order to hit those good shots. Now, the challenge for a lot of golfers is they'll stand there, make those swings. I say that feels amazing, but they get over the golf ball and revert back. And they might see a little bit of a pickup on the shot. So even though I've been a little bit slower there, my low point was ahead, strike was marginally better, but still struggling a bit with face and path. So I think a great way, and this will be very different for a lot of you, is I want you to actually try and quicken up your backswing a little bit. So I don't want you to be so slow and deliberate and getting the club passing through perfect points. I don't want you in this video to be checking where we are here, checking where we are at the top, checking where we are halfway down. I want to get a bit more flow into your golf swing. And like I said at the start, this is going to transform your ball striking. So even on the first 2 or 3, if it's not perfectly struck, don't worry. You can blame me if they're not quite there. This is going to be something a little different. So what I'm going to try and do now is I'm going to try and swing back just a little bit quicker than normal and then swing through to my finish. So I'm going to set up. So straight away, a very different strike. We see my club head speeds jumped up. Ball speeds also jumped up. See smash factor at 1.37, good low point, and the face and path very different. Now, obviously this is something I do a little bit more myself, so you might not find first go you see that big change, but just work through a few. And even though that one wasn't quite out the middle of the golf club, we can see my club head speeds picking up. Off the back of my club head speed picking up, my ball speed's jumping up, my low point's still good, and my distance is massively different from what we saw at the start. Now, most of you will have been told that too quick on the way back means lack of control. I don't necessarily agree with that. I think probably quicker on the way back means less practiced for you, but I'm now going to show you the theory of why being a little quicker on the way back will help you. So, I think if we go to where you believe top of the backswing would be, most golfers would say that they know they need the lower body to start the downswing, so then the feet push into the ground, the hips unwind, then the torso, then the arms, and finally the club. Now, if you swing back a little bit quicker, as the momentum of the club's going that way, you need to put force into the club to stop it going in this direction and get it to change. And it's almost the quicker you swing back, the earlier and the more force you've got to put into the golf club to get it to change direction. Now, obviously, the more force you put into the club, that pressure's shifting more towards that lead foot. When you do that movement, as the club's going in one direction and the body's going in the other, we see that club flatten off more behind you. For a lot of you, that won't be a bad thing. Once you're here and that wrist's in that better position, now all of a sudden we get more shaft lean, that low point moves ahead. Obviously less loft means more ball speed. And if you've got more club head speed as well as a more powerful impact position, we can see we're just ticking all the boxes. And yet you're doing all these great things without trying to think about all of them. So like I said, you're going to set up, maybe have a practice swing first, really quick backswing. And don't be afraid of experimenting. Never be afraid of hitting a bad shot when you're practicing. You just might find that you can swing a lot quicker back than you thought and still hit some very good shots. So if I exaggerate my speed on the way back, I probably felt my best one today. So we can see 90 mile an hour club speed, ball speed at 125, smash at 1.39, 4.5 inches ahead, really neutral face and path, and 174 carry. Now, I'll be honest, for me, that felt too quick on the way back. But maybe that just means I could practice that a little bit more. But for most of you, if you can stand there, have a little bit more speed in that backswing, even the ones that aren't perfect are still probably going to be better than the ones before. And all of those swing thoughts that you might have worked incredibly hard on, but really, really struggle, like I said, once you get to the top of that backswing and stop, it's very hard to work out for a lot of golfers how to get that momentum going. And we see no power, accurate enough, poor strike, not fantastic delivery, and certainly for me, 105-yard carry with the 7-iron, not willing to sacrifice distance for that. So be quicker on the way back, allow everything to be more of that chain reaction. And like I said, that just might transform your ball striking like never before. Right then guys, so hopefully you've been working through the video with me, but if you haven't, you're going to get to do it very, very soon. I think what you will notice is there will be the odd miss hit. But to be fair, if you're watching this video, there's probably plenty of miss hits anyway. And I do think more speed on the backswing, like I said a lot of times in that video, means you have to put more force into the club to get it, to stop going in one direction, to change direction, and the body becomes much more dynamic through impact, moves quicker, compresses the ball better, strikes your shots more purely, and just really takes that ball striking to the next level. So guys, hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, like it and share it, comment below and I'll get back to as many people as I can. There's another video just there that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy. Hopefully catch up with some of you guys down here soon. Stay in contact.